So if the Broncos lose him, are they... I mean, you'd have to be thinking you've already said it, they can't win the premiership. They can't go back-to-back. You've decided that.
I didn't say they can't.
Well, let's go.
I put that in your mouth.
Brings back to the pack. Okay. They're still a top 4 team, but you think about the moments that Payne Haas does, not only in a grand final, but in rounds 1 through to 27, what he did for Samoa at different stages in the Pacific Championships. There's not too many other players like him. You can...
Not in any position, but...
You can fill that void with a player, but there's nowhere near the calibre of player. So it brings them back to the competition.
Yeah. And then the Broncos would have to be, at the moment, be throwing everything at him, but then planning for plan A, B and C after that. There is no plan B that is like for like. There's no plan B for Payne Haas.
I don't think so.
But that is a big chunk of it.
But really, the Broncos should win the comp every year. I mean, they've got the whole state to pick from.
So if you were to compare in block to some of the best, you've said Lazo up there with Lazo. If you look at all the props you've seen and played with in your time and then that have come through, where does he rate amongst them all?
It's only my opinion. I don't want to go against anyone that's played in that position because I know how hard it is. But the top 5 that I've ever, I got the chance to, be asked about the top 5 props of all time. In my opinion, there's no one greater than Arthur Beetson. Arthur Beetson's number 1. There's no doubt about it, and I'll put him in order. Number 2 is Glenn Lazarus. I was lucky enough to play with Lazo. Mate, superstar. Quick play the ball. Arthur was a little bit different to all the others. He could offload the ball, get 2 or 3 blokes tackle him. He could somehow find the pass. But his speed over 10 and 15 metres was exceptional. A lot of people probably won't remember that, but for such a big man, he could move. Then I'd have Lazo, just his ability his motor, just to go for 80 minutes. As I said, I don't think I'd ever see another player after Lazarus. And then number 3 of all time, in my opinion, is Payne Haas. From what I've seen, he's still got a long way to go in his career, I hope, in the NRL, but he's number 3. Petro Civoniceva from the Brisbane Broncos is number 4. Talking to everyone that played against him, I never got the pleasure to play against him or the displeasure to play against him, but they're just hard as a rock and just the ability to go for a long period of time and cop a lot of punishment. And then number 5 for mine would be Shane Webke. I love the way Shane Webke wound up and the way that he played the game. So
that's a huge rap. Yeah. What's Payne Haas, 23, 24?
25.
25.
You know, Coops, I say...
Blocker Roach, who's watched more front rowers play our game from Arthur all the way through to the current crop, and he's just put Payne Haas as the 3rd best prop in the history of our game.
Yeah.
And he could play for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. If he continues on that trajectory, you've got conversations that you might have one of the best players.
You remember, you and I were doing this game when they played, I think it was New Zealand, and he was marking over on a sideline, and he was second marker, and they shifted the ball. They shift the ball to the right-hand side, right? Now, it's easy in that position when you've been going for a long, long time just to clock off.
Yeah.
Mate, he chased and did a try saver on the other side of the field, and I'm going, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And that to me, those sort of things that he does is something that, you don't see other blokes do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of blokes, you clock off after you've, look at yourself at the big screen and you've done a good thing or whatever, but, you clock off and away you go.
He's a gun player. He's in the top 3 players of our competition, probably will be for a period of time, the way that he's going about it. But I find that astonishing and a huge rap for Payne Haas, because I would probably say, listen, he probably needs to do what he's done the last 2 or 3 years for another 3 or 4, and then I've got him in the top 3 front rowers of all time.
It's just the fact that I've seen him do things that I've never seen anyone else do.
Puts him up there.
Do you know what I mean? That puts him right up there for me. Anyway.
I heard a lot of Queenslanders in that top 5.
Yeah, I know, it hurts. It hurts, but mate, they're good.
Of course they are. You can't.
You can't go against it.
Yeah.
Were you lucky enough to see Arthur play, or you seen footage of Arthur?
No, I've seen footage of Arthur.
Mate, unbelievable.
One of the other things about Arthur, and I'm not going to get into tackling and taking hit-ups as a front row, but just the presence.
Yeah.
Right. The guy arrived in the room before he actually did.
Yeah.
And the fact that, what he did for our game in 1980 in Origin is arguably Australia's biggest sporting event today, as because of what Arthur did in that first scrum in 1980. Mate versus mate, state versus state rivalry was off the back of Arthur.
And you knew what a type of bloke he was. The first time I ever get picked for New South Wales, Arthur Beetson was the coach of Cronulla, right? Coaching their first grade. When I first got picked, he come over to Balmain Leagues Club to congratulate me. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the sort of bloke that's the sort of bloke he is, you know. That touched me, you know. Yeah. I thought that was, you know, coming from a bloke like that, that was a big thing because he was. What
was your reaction to that?
Oh, mate, I couldn't believe it. But he loved the Tigers. There was a story about him when they called him half a game Artie. He was playing at the cricket ground against the Poms and he set up 2 tries, one for Ken Irvine and another try before half time. And this is the type of bloke he was. They took him off and they called him half a game Artie. He was showered back at the Balmain Lease Club drinking schooners with his mates while the test match was still going. So that's the sort of bloke he was. Yeah. Champion. I loved him.
Right up your alley. You'd have loved to have a beer
halfway
through a game.
Oh, my God.